Hello everybody, today we will be making focaccia. Okay, thank you to my good friend Laura in Massalubrense. I was speaking with her yesterday and she said, Alessandra, if you do the focaccia, you must make the poolish. I'm like, the poolish? Well, poolish is basically what they call in Italian biga. It's equal parts of water, flour, and just a drop of yeast. I will be using 2 grams of yeast, which corresponds to a quarter teaspoon of yeast. Again, I'll get the measurements later for in grams. So the biga, you let it sit 10, 12, 14 hours. And what it does is the yeast will ferment the flour with the water, and you have this pungent smelling, very airy mixture that you will be adding to the remainder of the ingredients to make the focaccia. And that's what creates all the bubbles in the focaccia when it comes out nice and airy. And also what the biga does, the poolish does, it allows it to stay fresh longer, where even the next day your focaccia will still be delicious. So let's get started. I'm back. Here it is. It's nice and smooth. Okay. And so interesting that just by letting it sit, it does all the work by itself. Okay. Such an art into baking. And I'm so happy to be sharing the tips and knowledge with you. Okay, so now it's covered with the plastic wrap. I will put it somewhere draft free in 68 to 70 degrees. Just a warm house is good. So it's gonna sit like this till tomorrow morning. 12 hours have passed and my biga has risen. Biga is basically poolish. It's the fermentation of the yeast, flour, and water. Water and flour are the same thing, and that I showed that earlier in the video. Thank you to Laura for letting me use a recipe. I've moved it into a cup measurement, and later in the description I will explain it in grams. So here's my biga. It's beautifully bubbly, and I'm going to put in, I have 2.5 cups of flour, 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, another 1/2 teaspoon of the dry active yeast, and 1/2 cup of water at room temperature. I'm going to start by adding the water, just putting it in. I'm going to put my yeast. Okay. Put the yeast in. Mix that in. Add my extra virgin olive oil. I don't want to put immediately the salt in contact with the yeast because sometimes it stops the process of the yeast, and I don't want to do that. So here goes my olive oil. Of course, I hate to lose any of this pure gold drop. Okay, so mix it in. All right, and I'm going to put 1/2 of my flour, of the 2.5 cups of flour, maybe a little bit more. Okay, now keep mixing. Slowly add your, not slowly, just add the salt in now. I think it should be safe enough. Okay. It's going to be, of course, a liquidy mixture because it doesn't have all your flour. I'm going to keep stirring. Okay, the ingredients are very well incorporated. I am going to move rest of my flour in and get this. And soon I'm going to work it on the table for, I'm gonna say, I don't know, 5-6 minutes. First, I want to get all the flour in. Okay, to open it up and get the wet part inside the dough to absorb the flour in. Okay. Okay, I am going to move with my hand now because I think it will better incorporate the flour. It's still wet inside, so it is picking up the rest of the ingredients. There we go. I'm going to move it to the counter and just work it. Again, don't want to add any more flour. It is such a beautiful, soft dough to work with, but we want it to, what we call, make the face, meaning that deve fare la faccia. You want it smooth and soft and pliable, and that's what we want to achieve right now by work. And yes, look how already it's changing the way it looks. Don't want to add too much more flour to it, but enough not to stick on the counter. Okay. I'm going to keep working it. Don't want to bore you for the next 5 minutes. So we'll continue on once I'm done working the dough. Okay, I've been working the dough, just kneading it. What I like to do is fold it over like this and just keep going. Again, flatten it out a little bit. Such a beautiful dough to work with. Fold it over and again, just keep going. Okay, now we worked it enough. We got. My daughter Sabrina brought up a valid point. Ma, what does it feel like? It feels like a soft, bouncy dough. As you could see, it bounces back when you touch it, okay? So now, with the help of my daughter Sabrina, she greased the glass plate with extra virgin olive oil. The dough is all ready. What I'm going to do is get the olive oil on top a little bit. Here it is. And now we're going to have the saran wrap on top. And now I'm going to place it in the microwave. Of course, not the microwave on, because I find that if I put it in the oven, if somebody doesn't know I have something in the oven rising, they'll put the oven on and you have a disaster. So I feel that the microwave is the best place where there's no drafts, there's no change of temperature, and the dough will rise beautifully. Okay, see you back in a little bit when it's nice and high. Okay, 2.5 hours have passed. Look at this, absolutely beautiful. Now let's get started to stretch the dough out. Okay, I'm going to grease the counter. Okay, remove the plastic and oh wow, 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 wow. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna stretch it out. And what we want to do is fold the dough over. I wish you could feel how soft and wonderful it is. Okay, let's close all sides. Okay, let me do this. Pinch the sides closed, get it over. Okay, let me just work it straight in the front. Stretch the dough. What we're going to do, I'm going to grease the, I have a Pampered Chef ceramic plate that I've had for over I'm gonna say over 25 years, and I can't even begin to tell you. It was a little upsetting when I bought it. It seemed like a lot of money, but for all the years I've used it and had it, it was well worth it. Okay, so going to move the dough in here, and I'm going to cover it with the plastic wrap and let it rise one more time. See you in a little bit. Another 2 hours have passed and the focaccia looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, final step. Let's going to just press it down and fill up the tray completely. Maybe if you could zoom in and see exactly how it looks. Okay. Going to put some Himalayan rock salt on it. Okay. And I'm going to do just one side with rosemary. This is rosemary from my own garden. Normally in the summertime when it's at its peak, I cut it off and let it dry in the sun to use during the winter months. Okay. Okay, perfect. Ready to go in the oven. Go. Okay, 475 the oven. We're going to put it in the middle rack and just keep an eye on it. Okay? It's been in the oven 20 minutes. I think we are ready. Looks wonderful. We're all ready. Focaccia looks amazing. It's crunchy on the outside, soft in the inside. We're having some amarone della Valpolicella. Thank you to our dear friends Massimo and Vicky. Tonight it's a simple dinner. We're in quarantine. I did buy some cheese a while ago and it doesn't spoil. So we're having focaccia, cheese, and good wine. Thank you. Be safe, stay healthy, and until next time.